everyone. Welcome to the Cow Chronicles. This is going to be a little bit of a more different kind of episode. We're going to talk a little bit about loss and how we have dealt with it and ways to not only how we've dealt with it, but talk about the people and the things that have been important in our lives that we have lost. And it's kind of like something that a lot of people deal with life in general. And this video is going to be one of the reasons why I started a YouTube channel in general, to kind of help people dealing with certain things in their life. So as you guys know, Eric and I have been very good friends for, what would you say, 3-4 years?
Mm-hmm.
About 3 or 4 years now. And we know a lot about each other. That's one of the main reasons why me and Erica are such good friends. So back when I first met Erica, I don't know if you wanted to talk about your mom, or did you want me to start talking about your mom?
You can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, so we met because I don't really talk about my job a lot, but I sell cars for a living, and her brother-in-law referred her out to me, and she ended up buying a car. One of the people that was with her was her mother, and she was a very nice lady. I only got to meet her twice, and she was a very caring lady, and she welcomed me with open arms into Erica's life. And every single time, the 2 times I met her and talked to her, she was like, "Oh, I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad to see you." She unfortunately passed away. She got diagnosed with cancer, and it was a very rare form, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the exact diagnosis, what the exact strain of cancer was, but it was in her liver, and there was a lot of tumors and stuff where and it came out of her bile duct, basically, so they couldn't do surgery, and all of her treatments basically didn't really work because it was very late stage by the time they find cancer in the liver. Plus she didn't have it anywhere else, so she had no other symptoms.
Back in April of last year, I lost someone very important to me, and it was my grandmother. My grandmother, she lived a very long life. She was 82. My grandmother was my best friend, and I get a phone call. It was the day after Easter, and my dad told me that my grandmother had passed away. She was at her eye doctor appointment. It was a normal day for her, just getting her eyes examined. They called her name to be going in. She stood up and she died in my grandfather's arms. And problem with that was she lived down in Florida. So the last time I saw her was about 2 years. It was that was the last time I saw her, was 2 years before, and she was up here. But she was very weak, and apparently it was very abrupt, which I'm not grateful that she's gone, but I was grateful that it wasn't like a disease or something like that. It was just like that for her. And about a couple weeks ago, my wife and I, we had a pet, little hedgehog named Taro, who unfortunately died abruptly. It was kind of like a shock. And, we just got him back today, his ashes and everything else. It's been kind of like a roller coaster for like the past couple of years for both me and Erica. I think one of the things that dealing with loss, it's like kind of like still, it doesn't feel real. Yet you tend to forget. It's like kind of like you want to wake up from a bad dream, like every single day. You go to bed, and you have those moments where you think about the person, and you wake up the next day, and then you think it's a bad dream. It isn't. It's real life, and it sucks. Eric and I have our moments where we think about these few that were important in our lives, and it hurts. I think it's one of the big huge reasons why I wanted to do this video is kind of like a therapeutic kind of way to just kind of like let it out and just not only just like heal from it, but just to kind of do like a video talking to people and seeing what other people have gone through as well. I think like the hardest part for me was with my grandmother was the problem is that she died the day after Easter. And when she died the day after Easter, I just talked to her on Easter. And I got off the phone with her kind of like, oh, I'll call her tomorrow, kind of thing. And it being that I was talking to her, I kind of just assumed, oh, I just talked to her tomorrow. That's what usually happens anyway. And when I found out that she was gone, I was like, I just talked to her yesterday. And it's still unreal to me that, she's actually gone. And, Erica, her and her mom, they were very close as well. Like, you saw her every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I lived with my mom, and then, I was an only child, so, she was the only real, person I had around me constantly. We worked in the same, worked across the street from each other. We drove to work every day together. Family stuff all the time together. And it wasn't even okay, how people's regular mom, you're okay, it's my mom, and whatever, she's there, and she's great. My mom was a mom to everyone else too. So she was just an amazing person to work with in our family. She was the oldest of her siblings, and she was the rock of everybody basically. So it was very difficult to not have that. She was very protective of me. She did a ton of things for me throughout my life.
You can never win a best mom contest with Erica.
Yeah, you can't. You just can't. I don't care who you put up against her. I'm gonna fight you to the death. I literally
Mother Teresa didn't have anything on her mom.
No, literally, my mom is the best one. There was not a better mother out there. And there never will be, which is sad. So, yeah, it's a huge loss in my life. When you lose somebody that's around you every single day, that is part of your routine, that you interact with all the time, that has your back, that has all of that support for you, that raised you, built you up, all of that, and did so many other things. Like she would help me do my taxes, you know what I mean? Or just sit with me or watch a show with me. Like literally every part of my life was touched by my mother. And we had the same wedding anniversary. Like, I mean, my engagement ring, the diamond was her diamond. Like there is so much of my mother that is ingrained in me. I still have her lot, like her parking spot from her, the lot that she parked at. That was near our buildings. Like I still park there. So like I am surrounded by things that remind me of her all the time. And basically to lose her to such a horrific like way where you just see somebody that was so bright and so active and always took care of everyone else and didn't want any attention, didn't want anybody to like put their hands on, you know, like you know, fuss over her in any way. She was the ultimate caretaker. To see her not have the strength to do that, to not have the energy and just like wither away to such a horrible way. It's so beyond heartbreaking and painful to watch something like that. That toward the end of her life, I mean, you kept having hope, but you kind of knew that it probably wasn't going to be there, even though you were just like trying to grasp onto anything that you could. But toward the end, you're just like, I can't take any more crying. Like, I'm just so done with like feeling helpless and sad and like just knowing that thing is coming. It's horrible, and I wouldn't wish it upon anybody to have to watch somebody go through that much suffering. Especially like other family members to have to support somebody that they've gone, you know, that it's like terrible, or the person themselves, because my mom was in so much pain all the time, even with like all of the drugs that they could give her, even with comfort care, even to the end. Like, I think the only time she got peace since she had been diagnosed was like at the end. I think that was the only time she was actually like not in a great deal of pain. So that was really difficult, but she is so part of every part of my life that after she passed and while she was getting to the end, it literally feels like somebody chops your arm. Like if you were born with two arms and they can function, you know, like averagely. We're in 2019, people. Things can be different for different people. So, imagine having the use of both of your arms on a regular basis, and then somebody just suddenly taking one of them off. Maybe it's the dominant one, maybe not. It doesn't really matter. You're missing an arm now, and now they're like, go ahead and tie your shoe. You know, that's just kind of how loss felt to me. It was just kind of like somebody's gonna take this huge important thing that I've always had, always in my life, and now they're gonna be like, hey, try and survive without it, and like sink or swim, you know, like it's painful. I wouldn't ever say it gets better. I have really terrible like anxiety from it. I have depression from it, obviously. It changes a lot of the ways that you look at life and who you want in your life, how you want to spend your time, who you want to spend that with, and just like you never want to waste a moment, you know what I mean? Like doing something that isn't actually making you feel like you're doing something, you know, like that's benefiting you, kind of, you know, or the situation. There's just so many things about it, and I'm taking over the conversation, but like just, you know, you have terrible days, and then you have just days where you're functioning and things are going on. You know, you can, in the beginning, obviously it's like just, you just can't believe it. I wouldn't say that I still dream about her all the time, so like in the dreams it feels like she never left, so that's kind of an interesting way of dealing with it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but just, yeah, it's something that you always notice that she's not there. I don't know if that's going to change over time, where like I just don't expect her to be walking around the corner. It's been about 3 years for me. A little bit more, maybe more, I don't know. I think it's going on 4 now. I'm really terrible with timelines, unfortunately. Even with something so big, I forget everything. I forget how old I am all the time. So not something that's unusual for me. But it's something that you kind of get used to not having the person there to some degree. But somehow they always still feel like they're gonna just show up. Like you could just call that number or like go to that house and like they're just gonna be there opening the door for you. So it's really difficult to still have that. And yeah, I've also lost people that, you know, like throughout my childhood. I had an uncle that passed away. You know, my grandparents both passed away. I had one that passed away suddenly on a trip, and I had another one that passed away. A couple relatives, including my grandmother, that passed away, and they were out of state at the time. So I wasn't like, I wouldn't say close to them, but like I wasn't with them while they were, you know, they'd been away for like a couple of years, basically. I hadn't seen them in a little while. So that is a different way of experiencing death, versus somebody that's like right there, that it's like sudden or right there and you see them progressively get worse. I feel like the ones that have happened that weren't right here, they almost feel like I could, like, same thing, like they didn't really happen. Like they're still on a vacation, or they're still like down there, like doing their own thing. That they're not actually gone, just because we didn't talk all the time or didn't interact on a regular daily basis in my regular life. And obviously I've had pets that have passed. I've had ones that also had cancer, you know, ones that just got like really old. I had one that was really young that died suddenly, her brother's still alive right now as this video is being filmed. And they were from the same litter, and she basically had some kind of neurological issue happen, like out of nowhere. She was fine one minute, next minute she starts doing this like walking around very confused. You know, we bring her in, got her treated. It was very expensive. It wasn't something that my family was really comfortable with spending, like out of the blue. So that was not an ideal situation. And it did not do anything really in that scenario. It didn't really help her. And she was also a very finicky animal, so she couldn't really stand the other, like, being treated at home part, like giving her pills and things like that. So she just got like worse, and then she got really better for like a few hours one morning, and we thought everything was in the clear. And then by the time I came home, it was like the worst, and then we had to put her down the next day, which was devastating just because she was so young. So yeah, a lot of loss.
One of the things I think that happened with me in loss, that, you know, like I've had people in my life that I've known or have been in my life that have abruptly died. I had a friend that I used to go to karaoke with, and we did karaoke together at times, and he was younger than me, and he had a heart attack and died. I had one friend that was murdered. Well, one person I knew that was murdered. I had another person that I knew killed himself. But like the thing is that when I was like seeing these things happen, it didn't really. It's not that I wasn't sad about it. It was more or less I was kind of like, oh man, I feel bad. It's sad. I said a prayer for the people, and I'm like, I'm always, and then I was always like, I'm grateful to have my family with me. After my grandmother died, the issue I was having was accepting it, and I'm still dealing with the whole accepting of it. But when my grandmother died, I kept on asking like why it happened. They all say that there's the 7 stages of grief. I'm not sure what stage I'm on.
They don't go in order. You can go in and out of them and repeat them. Yeah. It's not even like it's just something people say, because I think it's just like the different emotions that you go through and different ways of looking at the loss, basically. So don't think that you're like, oh, I've reverted back to like this phase.
When it was like about a week after it happened, I started drinking heavily, and really it was because a lot of it had to do with Erica here getting me not to do that, because she saw me like going down a downward spiral that she's seen me do before, and she basically gave me some tough love, and I'm grateful that I have like people I can talk to, because that's why I need to rely on, is if you need someone to talk to, you talk to them. But really it was like a lot of fear, like when someone close to you dies, you think, okay, when is your time gonna come? Because you don't know, because it's like you have to live every day like it's your last day. And that's why I try and live my life as, and I've been afraid. Like, it's like the unknowing, not knowing what comes after or anything like that. And, I'm not going to get into religion or anything like that, but something really awesome happened. I went and visited my grandmother at the cemetery and everything. And I talked to her for a little while, and when I was talking to her, I was getting into Erica's car and everything, and before I left and said goodbye, I asked for one thing, and it was, I asked for her to give me a sign. Just give me a sign that you're okay. And one of the things that was really amazing that happened was, it was a cloudy day that day. Very cloudy. It was raining, right? It was like
drizzly.
It was like drizzly and nasty. And it was supposed to be cloudy all day. All day. So I get into her car, and Erica goes, Kyle, look outside. I looked outside. There was, the sun shined out just for 5 seconds. 5 seconds, the sun shined out, and the light from the sun came down right where I was standing. Right at where she's buried. And it was just for 5 seconds, and I felt this warm feeling knowing that she is okay. And that was a hard pill to swallow, and it got me a little bit more accepting of it. It's just, it's like losing a big huge part, and it's like Erica said, it's like losing your arm. And I think like one of the things is that it's just, I don't have that like I had her number. I have her number on my phone. It was like, okay, she's just a phone call away. You know, she may live in Florida, but she's just a phone call away. I can call her anytime.
Yeah.
And
same with my mom.
Now
I still feel that way right now.
Yeah.
I would feel weird to call her and not have her pick up.
And it's not only just that, it's like knowing that she's gone, it's like I think about, man, I should have called her more. But like as you know, life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't always control how life
Right.
when life throws you curveballs or anything like that.
Exactly.
But I think one of the things that I've come to realize majorly, and this is the point behind the video, is be grateful for the people that are in your life. Don't let little things ruin your relationships with people. It's taken me a while to actually like get past certain things with people. Like I was always one to hold grudges and everything. And the perfect example is with my father. His best friend was my godfather. The last time I saw him was when I was, I was 3. The last thing he said to me was, I will see you next week. We'll have a snowball fight. That snowball fight never happened. I found out a couple years ago when my godfather's father died.
Basically, his dad and his friend and the guy he's talking about had a falling out.
They had a falling out.
So he didn't like die right then.
Yeah, I found out that my dad and him had a falling out. I'm not going to get into details about it. But I found out that he had died a couple years before, and we didn't even know about it. He died. Apparently, he had a heart attack. He was a heavy smoker and a heavy drinker, and he died. He was in his, I think he was in his 40s or something like that. So he didn't live a full life, and I never got to have that moment with him. But he was out of my life for so long, you know, like it hit me, and it was depressing because I the week before I found out about it, I was gonna write to him to basically say, I want to come down and visit you, and I want to catch up, you know, and find out what happened. Unfortunately, I'm never going to get that opportunity to know that. It's just like, you want to not have a moment like that, because my dad has a lot of regrets with that friendship. That was my dad's best friend, and he never got to actually say he was sorry.
I think that along with that, I'm also of the mind that, like, if somebody's constantly disrespecting you, and doesn't bring that, like, joy that you want in your life, which I know that, like, you know, a grudge is a grudge, and, like, you know, sometimes they're immature to have, but, like, sometimes you just have to sever a relationship. I don't know what the relationship was with them, but, like, me personally, after experiencing the loss of my mom, like, I literally just, I don't want crap in my life. Like, I don't want, like, as much drama, you know what I mean? Like, people that want to judge me or want to do whatever they want to say about me, like, I just don't have time for it. You know, that's not what I'm going to live my life in. I'm not going to live my life around what other people want me to be or do or say and feel and whatever. Like, I'm going to do me, and be around people and do the things that I think make me happy. So,
but
that's where
I'm not saying, like, you know, if someone's like a really bad influence in your life, or someone that's just destroying you, then you cut those people out. But what I'm saying is, the people
that you care about,
don't let like a little squabble or a little argument or like, in the long run with life in general, it doesn't matter about just it doesn't matter about the little things. Little things are like money, having a nice car, if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, unfortunately they did, but that stuff is just
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is the people that are important in your life, because you never know when that would be the last moment. Like right now, like Eric and I, we're doing this video right now. Like I could drive home and get into an accident and I could be gone. Do we want to have the last moment be a bickering match or be like a stupid squabble? No, because every single time that after we hang out, we know that we can leave happy, knowing that we enjoy having each other in our lives, and not only just that, we
like build each other up.
Yeah, I mean, we don't let each other just like fall to the ground, and that's why we do this channel together, and we've done so many new projects that we're excited about.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously this was a very weird video. We kind of did this on the spot, which that was what I wanted to do for the channel. And I'm very proud to announce that we have officially been on YouTube for a year. And I want to say thank you to every single one of you guys that has liked, subscribed, and followed us.
And even just watched them.
Even just watch the videos. Erica puts in a lot of work for this channel.
Even though I take my time too.
We have a lot of new content coming your guys' way.
Yeah.
And we're very excited about it.
We're excited. We are very disorganized.
We're just very disorganized right now.
We're trying to it's a lot of... It's kind of an interesting thing when you do a YouTube channel. You just don't really know that,
You don't know how much work goes into one.
You do, but you don't. You're like, oh, damn, they have to do this all the time. This is nuts. Yeah.
We have done a few projects, and we have a few videos that we're still working on.
Yeah, so those should be coming out.
We wanted to...
Or will have come out.
We don't know if this is going to be out before those videos, but we have quite a bit of projects that we have coming up. Just remember, people, that, dealing with loss, just lean on the people that are important to you.
But also be patient with yourself, because it takes so freaking long. It's just it doesn't really end. It just be patient. It
gets natural.
Yeah,
it gets normal. It doesn't just oh, hey, life is great now. It's not like you forget about the people you've lost.
Yeah, but you can brush your teeth and go to work and have a normal day. But knowing that you can function within it is basically what it is.
Also, don't hide your feelings about certain things. Yeah. Don't keep it inside, because keeping it inside is worse.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know from experience.
He still does this though all the time. Don't think that you're a burden on other people's lives. Especially when those people are never going away.
And don't ever feel like talking about the issue is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because just lean on the people that are important to you and the people that understand you. Mm-hmm. And talk to someone. Don't let it bring you to hurting others or hurting yourself in the long run, because the one key to dealing with loss isn't just dealing with it yourself, it's having people there that can help pick you back up. Mm-hmm. And
it can be whoever. Honestly, whoever you get the comfort from, like
it doesn't even have to be a person. It could be your pet. It could be
a coworker.
You know,
just the people that can just reframe how you're looking at something, or just support you, and just, you know, I don't know. There's some people that do a really good job, and then there's some people that just keep like making you feel worse.
Or they make it about them.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. It's difficult. Even people that have good intentions, sometimes that, you know, you were normally close with, like in other scenarios, like before the loss, you can find that like those relationships like get.
It's the people. The people that stick around that are the ones that are the ones you should lean on.
Well, and the ones that have always been. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, the ones that have always
know
been there.
you. You know what I mean? There's people that like know you, and then there's people that like know you. You know what I mean? So, Unagi, yes, the Unagi people. So,
but
yeah.
I appreciate everyone's love and support. We will be having more content come out, and everything, and we're going to be doing a lot more fun stuff. It's not going to be all depressing like this, but we will.
No, this is our new channel, so this is what you have.
Yeah,
deal with it.
Yeah, that we're just going to be talking about, like, my dad took my bike. Very sad right now. I just watched the end of Titanic. I can't believe that he didn't get stay on the door. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know,
they could have both fit.
They could have both fit. This movie's so depressing.
But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We got a lot of projects and happy things, and maybe some more real life talks. But at least this one is off our chest. We can move on with our lives. We've been shelving this one for a little while, just because
about a year.
Like,
it's been about a year.
Well,
we were going to do this back when we first started.
We were going to do depression before your grandmother died, even. Mm-hmm. And then your grandmother died, and then it was too soon. And I was like, let's not. That's like, you're just going to keep reopening the wound over and over. So now at least the wound has had some time to heal a little bit. You know, it's not as... bleeding. Right there. It's more of like, oh, let's just poke it a little bit.
And it's really, I believe that talking about it and looking back on it from how Erica and I are very emotional people, and one of the things,
even though I come off weird, like
she's not always so serious.
I am not this way all the time. I just like... It's a weird trait of me being able to talk about really deep emotional stuff this way to people. Like, even after my mom had passed, even at her, like, services and stuff, like, I could just be like, well, it was this and this and this. And, like, basically, I would just kind of, like... not have that emotional response then, but like later on, like I would, like something would just trigger, you know, like sobbing for hours, you know, like my birthday or her birthday, like those are really terrible days for me usually. So this
year's actually wasn't as bad.
What? Her birthday?
Yeah, her birthday.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad this year. It was somewhat okay.
But I just want to again, thank you guys so much for the love and support. We're not going anywhere. This channel is just going to keep on growing and getting better. And just know that if you ever need someone to talk to, reach out to your local helpline, or talk to a friend. If you're in school, talk to like a counselor. Talk to someone, and always just reach out, and don't ever feel like
you don't matter.
You don't matter, because you do. Everyone matters.
Yeah.
And, you know,
somebody cares about you, and you aren't better off not being here. Even if you think that. And
also just know that...
And that's a very normal feeling, too. That's normal.
It is.
Everyone has... I would assume most people have times where they're like, I'm just better off not even being here. Like,
but just know that you are
yeah.
loved, and
there will be people that miss you.
Yes.
And need you. So
just remember that.
There's somebody.
And just be.
Or we'll talk to you.
Just know that no matter what you're going through, just reach out, get help, whatever you need. It doesn't matter what it is. And please comment below if you guys have ever dealt with something like that. Please comment, ask us questions. We will be gladly to answer any questions that we get. We'll reach out to you guys, whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm always an open ear. That's how I always am with everyone. I'm kind of like, you can talk to me about anything, I don't care, it's fine. You want to vent, that's fine. I've been around the block a few times, so nothing really shocks me. So if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to comment below. We'll be glad to answer any questions that you guys have with dealing with anything. And again, thank you for me and Erica here. We love you guys, and thank you guys so much for the love and support. New videos will be coming soon, I promise.